I want to start this by saying, again, congratulations with the performance of A Tribe Called Judah in, at the box office. I think right now it's already past 1.3 billion. As the last time I checked was 1.29, but I think as we're talking, it should be past 1.3 already. That's never before seen. Of all the films that were released last year, I think the next film is Malaika, which is still, at around 250 million. So, which means it has done like 1 billion more than even the next highest grossing film from 2023, which I think is remarkable. And you had a lot of creative input on that title. So, I wanted to start by, going back on your journey, sir. What was it like? What were your early days in filmmaking like? And I believe the most curious thing for me is that when I look at your filmography, the first film started from Benin, Benin Republic. So, how can you tell us about that, sir?
Yeah, I mean, my first film project was in Benin, and I was called as a cinematographer. Um, he was a lecturer that worked with Mr. Elijah Farah that taught me in my film school that actually just called a couple of us. So there's this thing about how that you have your best students and know the people that you want to, kind of mentor after school.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I was lucky to be one of his guys. So I was like, uh, it was like, let's go to Putana now. I have some friends there. We're making one this thing. I'm like, trust me, like, I packed my bags immediately. Like, I was waiting for him at my two bus stop.
My
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. And we went to Putana. I think it was for like 2 weeks. It was a fun trip. I mean, and we shot. And years later, I mean, the film was out. So
Yes,
interesting.
sir. So you mentioned earlier that this lecturer was from film school. So
Yeah.
that means, as opposed to a lot of the ways a lot of people started their journey as filmmakers, where they just started learning by observing someone. It means you started your journey at film school. Which film school was that, and what even drove like your interest to begin with?
Okay. I attended PEFTI Film Institute, and I had wanted to, follow the normal route of, speaking to someone and trying to get mentors to work with. And I had visited a couple of people that I thought would be good mentors as at then. I'd spoken to um, Tunde Kelani.
Yes, sir.
Um, I'd spoken to Femi. Um, a couple of reputable producers and filmmakers as at then, and I kept one thing kept coming to me that I should get a skill with something.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so trying to explore because I came off with, oh, I want to direct, I want to direct. And pretty much came to me that you're not just going to direct like that. You're gonna have to go learn it somewhere. Nobody's gonna hand it over to you to just do.
Mm.
So that's why I went to film school.
Yes, sir. Nice. So, your filmography on Nollywire, right? Between after that first film in Benin, you didn't make any other film, which until 2016, which was Romance is Overrated, I think. So, what happened? What happened with the break? And then you came back, and since then you've not stopped. So, can you take us through that break and where the ginger just came from? And
Okay, so it wasn't actually a break. It was sort of like a learning process, or I mean a sharpening process, because I was still very much actively involved in content creation and television, but I wasn't doing feature films as at then. I'd gotten to do freelance projects like Boogie Africa, and it was a lot of traveling around. And of course, I was also trying to survive as a young person, trying to make money. So, and then I also got to work on a couple of projects with Jungle Films. Then reality shows were like the big things. And if you were a camera operator on a reality show, you were building your city.
Yes, sir.
I was fortunate to have worked on shows like Good Ultimate Search, Tina Dancehall, Star Quest, Nigerian Idols. So for like a chunk of 6 years or 5 to 6 years, I was fully into that.
Oh,
And
wow.
the show run like there is the auditioning process, there's the actual show. So it's like takes 2 or 3 months every year to finish one of those shows. So by the time you have like two or three of those shows booked, it's almost like you're busy for the year. And yeah, and I was doing event coverage and stuff
So,
in all that era. But I mean, the time came again to work on a film project, and I jumped at it. And yeah,
but I mean, if you were doing very well, because I remember that I heard from someone that you know at as I when you were doing event coverage and all these shows that you were top two, top three, steady cam operator in Nigeria. So, and if you were doing very well, you were top of the game. Why leave that to? And I mean, show business is also good. So why leave that and to transition into like filmmaking?
I mean, show business is good. I've dabbled into a lot of things in show business. I've done music video. I've done Steadicam for music videos like Clarence Peters, Unlimited Early, GT, all the big shots as at then. I mean, I had my gigs locked, and I was striving, but it wasn't everything. Like, there wasn't full satisfaction because, like I said, setting out, I wanted to be a film director,
Mm.
and I had to learn the ropes from being production assistant, production driver, to camera assistant, being first AC and camera operator, then the DP, then the Steadicam operator, and then directing. So it was like I just had to run the process.
Yes, sir.
So while I was doing all of that and I was getting the gigs, I still wanted to do film because I just have this I'm inclined to storytelling. Like, I'm intrigued by it, and I like to share something that I find fascinating, intriguing with other people that may have similar interest or like minds. So, so that was it for me. That was the callback into filmmaking for me.
Yes, sir. Um, the next thing I'm curious to know is your approach, and your opinions on collaboration. Thinking about how you started your journey, it was even somebody had a project and they called it, which is collab. It's not like you say, okay, I want to do this, and then you find in other people to come. And like, it's not a solo thing. And looking into your filmography, you've done mostly, collaborative work. So, what is your opinion on collaboration, and is that something you hope to continue to do, or are you at the phase where you're thinking like, I think I need to do my own thing?
I think collaboration is very essential. I mean, both in your formative years and even while you are pretty set up. I
Yes, sir.
think there is no one that is fully all that,
Yes, sir.
right? You always need to ride on some people's extra knowledge, extra perspective, extra experience to be able to do better. Like by yourself, you can, yeah, pull a couple of crowd, but with many good heads, you can actually do times 10 of what you could have done. So I mean, I'd embrace collaboration any day, anytime. Like, there's really no point to prove to me in filmmaking than passing a message that can reach as many people as possible. And if collaboration is the means to achieve this, then I mean, I'll gladly do it anytime. I mean, I'd also done a couple of solo projects. I mean, and it's equally rewarding. But I mean, I'm open to any way it comes to me.
Yes, sir. Oh, I see. I see. I mean, filmmaking, like you said, filmmaking is a collaborative process in its entirety. But now, I remember during when we were working on a story for Ashiria Day last year, you said something like you wanted to focus more on directing now rather than, the cinematography aspect of your experience. And what's driving that change? What's driving that shift for you, sir? Because your first directorial debut was, I think, in 2020 with Gaslight. So why did you? I mean, you said earlier that directing has always been the goal, but then why was it like that was the time, and why you like this is now that I no longer doing cinematography work?
So as I kept reaching out to producers and stuff about wanting to direct projects, I mean, yeah, a couple of them believed in me, but they were just hesitant. So in 2017, I think I did a short film called Distraction, and got good buzz and gave me solid confidence. The fact that I could direct. So,
Oh,
so I kept on pushing and I was still doing cinematography. And then the opportunity came to direct a project in 2020, and it was Gaslight. And interestingly, Gaslight got, licensed by Amazon as at then, even when Amazon was not very, present in Nigeria.
wow.
Yeah, so that gave me really good boost. And I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, I said that I could do this thing, right?
I told you.
So I told you. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my money on this thing. Let me clear all possible doubts. And then I decided I was gonna do the grill, but the grill was looking so big that I mean, I called on friends and a couple of people, investors, to be able to pull it off. But yeah, then we did the grill, and I mean, he also got licensed by Netflix, and he became one of the top 10. It was on the top 10 most viewed film in that year, and I'm like, really? You know?
I think it was
So
even number two non-English film in 2020.
yeah,
I
it was
think
number two. It
2022.
was right after Anikula.
Yes, that's correct.
That year was mind blowing, really mind blowing. So I mean, I got my clarity. I was just waiting for the audience to join.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
But what was that grill experience like? Especially like, did you just wake up and you saw like everywhere has scattered all over the place. Grill was all
So
over the place.
so we had to try to do publicity with our limited resources, and we decided to strategize. Me and um my my partners, Goodness Manuel was also a producer on it, um, to go the route of um, film festivals. And so we put it out on film festivals. And Griot started getting really good reviews, even from international film festivals. And then I think the major spotlight came when um, he was selected for AFRIF, and he won the best Nigerian feature film for the Orlando Douglas category,
Yeah.
and that was it. Like everybody was asking for the Griot after that. So
Wow.
so he went on to Netflix from there, and yeah, that was one beautiful journey.
Yes, sir. But then after I grew, I think that was after just after I grew that you had to work again as cinematographer on I think Shantytown, Jago Jago, But like, what was the impact of your work in Griot that now led to all these big Nollywood productions, then to now even lead into a tribe called Judah that we're here to talk about today?
Yeah, after the grill, I got another project, other major projects, but still as a cinematographer, there was Shantytown, Telecom Operating, there was Far From Home as Cody P, there was Jago Jago, director of photography. Yeah, the Battle on Buga Street, director of photography. I mean, I would say I'm one of the most fortunate people. I think I've worked on
Yep.
every remarkable project, and I'm
You
like,
have. You have.
how did this happen?
You
I
have.
mean, God is good. What can I say?
God is
Yeah,
good. God is
yeah,
good. Oh.
yeah. So, I mean, looking at how things were going, I was going to get stuck in this cinematography thing if I did not
Ah.
pull a pull a serious stunt, and it was almost going to look like a career scare because I had gotten called for a couple of major projects, and my stubborn head said, "Ah, uh, Oga, I beg, na directing I
Ah.
don't want to do this." And trust me, a couple of people were looking at it like, "Oh, my father, that makes me feel like you come back
You come back to
from like, I
cinematography.
mean, a few people believed that, oh yeah, okay, let's give Dexy a chance, and I'm grateful for those kind of people. And some of those people were like, for instance, Mimi Battles was in film one then, and Mr. Moses had approached me with a script, and they were like, okay, so Dexter, would you want to touch this film? And I looked at you. Then Mimi sends me a message like, I need a treatment by tomorrow. Yeah. I was like, hey, director's treatment tomorrow. And I was everybody's treatment that I knew. I mean, of course, I had friends who were prominent directors. There was Gary Kasum, there was Asof. Those were my guys. I was like, oh no, I go show me this treatment thing, I gotta run this. But yeah, I was able to, send in a treatment, and they liked it immediately.
Wow.
And we went on to make Adire.
Yeah, I love that, Jerry. By the way, I watched it twice.
And yeah, Adire is making me smile presently, man.
I see very well
Yeah,
on Netflix. A lot of people are saying good things. We
yeah,
shared a video of kind of Bankole
yeah.
on our TikTok yesterday. It's currently
Mm.
at like I think 30K plays, and people are loving it. It's crazy. Everybody is commending our performance in that film.
Yeah, Adire is pulling conversations everywhere. And I mean, Adire's message was a strong message. And to me, summary of the message is love and acceptance, and
Love
just
it.
knowing that, I mean, every saint was probably once a sinner, and every sinner is a potential saint.
Same.
So I mean, give room for love, give room for acceptance, and let love do his thing, man. Like that's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I would like to talk about earlier you mentioned something like that sound like you were feeling stuck with cinematography. So I mean now as a director, I don't think there's anything to prove again in Nollywood.
There is no, I
I
don't
mean,
believe that.
Your name is already imprinted in the annals in the history of Nigerian filmmaking. Anytime they want to talk about the first film to make 1 billion, Adeoluwa Owu will also be there. Always in that conversation. So I mean, I want to talk. I want you to talk about what's the next step for you. But before we go into that, right? I want you to look back in your journey and look at 5 career defining moments, 3, 4, but like between 3 and 5, but no more than 5 moments that you think were very critical to where you are today in your journey, sir.
I think the first career defining moment was my first opportunity to work with Tunde Kelani on a film project. And I mean, it was remarkable because Tunde Kelani is a long life mentor and somebody I always look up to because I mean, this is also somebody who transitioned from being a cinematographer to an exceptional director and producer. So, I
Mm.
mean, it's like looking for people that walk the path and then just following suit. So, yeah,
Yes, sir.
that opportunity to work on projects like Asobodilu, Mami, um, Alo Yagba, and a couple of other things gave me solid confidence because I mean his work ethics is 1005 over
Yes.
100. Like so, if you were ever privileged to work with him, you would learn absolute discipline and respect for the craft.
Mm.
That's a huge one for me. The second career defining moment was um I think making the grill.
Cool.
Making the grill taught me everything about filmmaking in the sense that everything that could go wrong went wrong, everything that we could get right was perfect. Like
Mm.
it was a blend of the best and the worst experiences of my life ever.
Yes, sir.
Like I still have scars from the grill, and yet the
Mm.
grill is like the foundation to whatever um my life has turned out to be
Mm.
present. So that was a remarkable moment. I mean, of course, another transitioning moment was when I was given an opportunity to direct for a major studio, which is Film One, and when I made that direct, that was remarkable. Like that was somebody else now trusting me with their resources. Yeah, so that was a career defining moment. I also had another career defining moment when I pitched a project at Sharia Day to Papaya and they loved it and they funded it. That
Wow,
was huge. Yeah, I'm like,
that's huge.
wow, yeah, that's huge. Yeah. So and then of course, man, right now the pivotal will be the one top in the charts presently.
A tribe called
It's
Judah.
it's a privilege from because I count it a privilege to work with an established personality who knows her crafts. I mean, when and Funke called me to co-direct the project, I was blown away because I know that she knows her things. She's been making the numbers. She's the highest grossing, producer, director. Anyway, so like there must be something else you wanted to add to, complement the
Definitely.
project. So, I mean, it was career defining to just be called. And, start of the project, I mean, I was very conscious that this was not something I was going to come in and just let it play out. I was going to make my own mark so that we could tell that I had justified the need or the reason why she called. And I'm just super grateful by what the film turned out to be like. It's
Yes, sir.
mind blowing and exceptional.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think those are like
So,
career defining.
for me, in my head, I'm just where you said when you said you have scars from Adjure, from the grill.
Agree.
that you still have scarcity today. It's just ringing in my head that what could those be? But I don't know if that's something you want to share.
I mean,
So
I probably won't go deep into it, but you will. I mean, when you're starting off something, you will make mistakes, you will offend people, you will burn some bridges, but yet the job must be done.
yes, sir.
Like
Yes, sir.
so yeah. I mean, that those were just
I see.
those things.
But what was it like? I mean, the story behind how you came to be a part of a tribe called Judah with Antifunke. Like, how did that happen? Was it from a previous project? What was that like?
Based off the Battle of Buga Street, I told her together, I want to direct though. And she was just like, okay, okay. But she called me for a trap called you and sent me the script. I was like, Dexy, let's shoot though. I was like, thank you, Auntie. And he was like, and then I was like, Auntie, what the about it? He was like, yeah, my GP, you know. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry I'm using Yoruba, but that's our conversation right now.
Yeah,
And I was like, Auntie, now I'm suffering. Like I told you now that I want to direct. Because I mean, prior to that, I turned down a lot of people on this cinematography thing, and I mean, I it wasn't fun for me. I didn't have money. I was hungry. It's not like it's
or
not
more.
pride, though. Like, but it needed. So when I spoke to her about it, she went to think about it, and then she just called me. She was like, "Okay, yeah,
Oh,
let's go direct." And I was super excited. I was happy to jump on it.
yes, sir.
And of course, she shared her idea. She told me her vision for the film, and yeah, I went through it, digested it. I went back to her, discussed my own ideas, um, things I thought we could, do add, to make it, even more firm, and we aligned and went on the project.
Yes, sir. And what would you say the experience, working with her? I mean, you've worked with her like about like 3, 4 films now, but like each of those experiences, how would you describe working with her? And like, what's the major lesson that you've picked from working with her and that you would use in your, or like even in your own solo directorial work going forward?
A major thing I learned from Funke Akindele is the fact that as the producer, the director, you must know your project more than any other person.
Hmm.
She is thorough. She has a wide grasp of what she wants. She pretty much knows how she wants her characters to speak, to look, to behave, and she communicates it to everybody who is, in charge of any department. So I feel like above anything, you have to be that focused on your own project. If she's coming with 100% to her own project, I mean, and then you are hired to work on the project, you should know that you have to come with your A game.
Sure.
That's some level of respect that I have for Funke, and that's a big lesson I've learned. Like even that I will apply in my own projects.
Always going with the A game. I see.
Yeah.
So just to wrap this up, I want to talk about like what's next for you because I mean is it that you're trying to make the next 1 billion film like to kind of like say okay we can do this again. I believe working with her you saw exactly how this was made. Is the next goal for you now to replicate that maybe on your own as a collaboration? What's next for you? And also, who are you looking to work with? Among other things, what's next for you, sir?
So my primary goal is not to outrightly set out to try and be smashing records up and down. No, like it's pretty much um improving on the knowledge that I have, um, looking at the experiences that I've, gone through, and then looking at how things can be done better and hoping for greater heights.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty much what I'm about right now. And regardless of the capacity, whether I am producing or a director for hire or co-directing or anything, I am just more focused about making sure that my work stays incredible and remarkable, memorable, and surpasses the previous.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
So just to wrap this up, what I'm curious about now is what are your like the key things that you think has worked for you? Like, advice is always good for whoever's watching this, whether they're old or young. It would be nice to learn what are the things that has worked for you in your career that you think has helped you to get here today and like that you believe will continue to help you advance in your journey, sir.
I first say that just for anybody, stay hungry. Like I remember I was in a group a long time ago, and the name of the group was called Hungry Artists. Now, every single member of that group is like big right now. Like, and I'm just going back to remembering the good days. And the reason why we chose that name is that don't ever get comfortable with whatever you think you have, because I mean, if you just look outside the door, you find 10 million people that have surpassed that and are not even, um, you know, are not even bragging or anything about it. So stay hungry. Always look at what's next to do, what's more to learn, what's the next experience to get, what's the next opportunity to jump on. And again, another thing is stay humble. Um, I have seen the greatest people become very ordinary, and I've seen very ordinary people become very great. So everything is just subject to time, and everybody has their own moment and their own time. So there's nothing, regardless of where you think you are, there's nothing that's going to be permanent, and
Hmm.
that's just the way life works. So stay humble, and you will continue your life and you will continue to do good.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Um, Something just dropped in my mind. I mean, I'm done, but like, I want to know personally, like, in terms of the timeline that I feel like you right now, I believe you feel fulfilled to some level. I mean, you feel accomplished. Uh,
I'm waiting for the Hollywood agents to call.
that's when it will. That's when we complete everything, huh?
Yes, it wouldn't even complete. It would be a new
It will be
phase.
a new face. It will be a new face. I
Yeah.
see. But like, what kind of film would you want to do? Like, if you were to go, say, produce in Hollywood, would it be a Nigerian story or just altogether like an American story or something like that?
Interestingly, I am very sort of Nigerian, and I think I mean, to if a large number of Nigerians like to experience a story in form of drama and all of that. So I mean, if I got a chance, or if I got to pick from great Hollywood studios or directors to work with, it would be very interesting to work with someone like Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, to I mean, it sort of feel consistent with the kind of stories that I would like to tell, even though it's it's still a bit foreign, but yeah, it would be a very good place to start. I am very open to dabble into action sequences and all of that. And as a director, it just depends on the narrative script. But I like to work a lot with drama. Drama is like my thing. I like to
Yes, sir.
work people's emotions.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate
Thank
it.